that Bellator feels is right and my manager feels is right, and I'm following what they tell me. I'm always going to say, oh, I want to fight for the title, but they're doing what's best for me, and I'm just trusting the process and the path.
Very good. You're a martial arts master, you're a model, and you've done so many things in your career, broadcaster, actress. What's the most satisfying for you?
Martial arts, I could be successful in any career I want, and I'm choosing to go this route because I know that the talent and the passion I have for this sport isn't ordinary. I don't have to be doing this. I could have stopped after my Taekwondo career and got into broadcast journalism or just gone into my acting route. But no, I decided to do this. I know what I'm capable of. I know my potential, and I know that there's something I need to prove to the world.
All right, final question for me. How do you sum up Tara Graff as an opponent going into Bellator 243 this Friday?
I think she's a lot older than me. She has a lot of experience. She has a lot of amateur fights. We're both both have 2 fights as pros, but I don't guide by that. I know she's gonna go in there aggressive to clinch me, try to take me down, and I just don't think she realizes how strong I am.
Well, she's gonna find out on Friday. Master Valerie Loureda, thank you for the time.
Thank you.
All right, our next question will go to Brendan Tobin. Your line is live.
Hey, Valerie. I know people down here in Miami are very excited for your fight. Have you heard anything as far as people back home, plans to, responsibly, get together to watch you, and just kind of what memos have you heard from South Florida as you enter the cage this weekend?
Yes, everyone is so excited. Everybody I know, my high school or went to, my elementaries, everybody who's been following my career. My Cubans in Miami are ready to watch me fight Friday, and George couldn't get that first win for us, but I know I am.
And just what this year's been for you, as far as I'm sure you probably want to get a few more in the cage. It's been crazy for everybody, but just how happy are you to be at this point where you finally get to get back in action and then move your career along?
Yeah, I'm just so honored and blessed. A lot of fighters don't have the same opportunity I have, and I will be the first female to get in that Bellator cage in this quarantine process. I'm just really excited. I'm also very blessed that I get to get paid as well. I'm lucky that I stayed ready during quarantine. I was close to weight, so when Bellator called me 3 weeks ago, I was able to put together a quick camp and just let's go, let's do this. So I'm just looking forward to walking to that cage Friday and becoming 3-0.
Here's the time. Best luck.
Thank you.
Our next question will go to Mark Piocos. Your line is live.
Hello.
Hey, Valerie. My first question is, your last fight, you went the full 15 minutes. What was that experience like for you? And, what were some of the learning lessons you took from that fight?
So my last fight, I was upset about it at first, but then I was grateful for it because it was 15 full minutes in a cage. I wasn't tired, and this girl was going at me with everything, and I learned about her a week before. She was a southpaw. It was a lot of adversity I had to face and change, and I'm just grateful with the outcome. But that fight I took away from me, that every girl that walks into the cage with me is out to kill me, and this is the opportunity of their life. So I always have to be prepared for more than that. It doesn't matter who it is in front of me. I know Tara's going to come in the same way, and I'm going to use the experience I learned from my last fight into this fight.
Now, going into this fight, I mean, it might be a little bit jarring that you may, there's no audience there, so obviously no crowd noise. You'll be able to hear your coaches more clearly on the other hand. What's your expectations coming in to this fight, knowing that there's no crowd there and it's going to be somewhat quiet?
I feel a lot less pressure. I've been sparring like that since I was a baby. Every Wednesday, my dad used to do sparrings like that, where it was just us in the gym sparring, and my dad would coach me. But this time, I feel a lot less pressure. I don't know if it's just me, but I feel a lot less pressure. I feel like it's gonna be funner. You don't have to think about the crowd or all of that, and just go in there and have fun. Listen to your coaches. It's like a sparring at American Top Team in our cage, and just perform at my best.
Final question. One of your goals coming into fighting was to kind of change the perception of what Taekwondo was in this sport. How do you feel that goal is coming around right now? Do you feel that a lot more people are kind of respecting the sport of Taekwondo now?
Yes, 100%. I feel like Taekwondo is becoming a lot more prominent in mixed martial arts. You know, a lot of people want to do the techniques that I know how to do, and Taekwondo is the type of sport that if you don't start it from a very early age, it's very hard to get that footwork. And I'm just blessed that I do have that. You know, Taekwondo is a beautiful martial art, and it comes out of me naturally in the cage. You know, a lot of things in Taekwondo you can't do in a cage, but a lot of things I've picked up and I use in my MMA. So I know exactly how to use my Taekwondo in the cage and show off on my pretty kicks and knock someone out.
Well, thanks a lot for your time, Valerie, and best of luck to you.
Thank you.
Our next question comes from Marc Zirogiannis.
Master Loureda, how are you? Okay, let's unmute. Master Loureda, Marc Zirogiannis, Taekwondo Life Magazine. How are you? The question.
Hello, sir.
How are you, ma'am? The question for you is how this very difficult time during the pandemic, how did your Taekwondo training and your Taekwondo background help you to cope with the challenges of this unprecedented time?
Well, the number one thing that I do have as a master in Taekwondo is my discipline and my respect. And I take that with me in life, and I take that with me in my MMA career. And I feel like the discipline that Taekwondo gave me, being a master and doing it my whole life, was able to help me cope with the adversity of quarantine, stay fit, stay close to my weight, keep my goal in mind, you know, not lose track of myself, and stay ready for when Bellator called me.
Very good. Thank you. We look forward to seeing your performance on Friday night.
Thank you, sir.
Our next question goes to John Eric Polai.
Hi, Valerie. How are you?
Hello. How are you?
Good. So, Valerie, my first question for you. It's been a little over a year since we've last seen you inside of the Bellator cage. Every fighter has a different take on ring rust. What's your opinion on it? Are you worried about it at all?
No, just because I haven't been in the cage for a year, but I have been sparring like crazy at home, and I did Joanna's camp for that fight, and then quarantine happened. So I just think I've been doing this for so long. I really don't feel I don't feel like it's been a year. I feel like it's been like maybe 3 months since I last fought. I feel very fresh, and I don't think that's a worry going into this fight.
Yeah, and then it's the last thing for me here. You just mentioned Ioane and Jacek. I know that you train with her. How has she helped you improve as a martial artist from working with her?
Well, just seeing how we sparred together, but above anything, just seeing her mindset and why she is a champion. You know, I share in common with Joanna more than I share with any other fighter in the world. I see myself in Joanna when she was younger, and she always tells me that if I stay focused, I'm going to be a champion. She sees the way I train. She sees how hard I work, and she sees how we have the same passion for the sport. You know, we both cried together. And I just learned a lot from her from a championship mindset perspective. And, you know, I'm looking to follow in her footsteps and her advice.
Thanks, Valerie. Good luck.
Thank you.
Our next question comes from Gareth Davies.
Good evening, Valerie, from London. This is London calling.
Hello.
Hi, buenas tardes.
Buenas tardes.
Buenas tardes, senora. I've got a kind of like a question that is probably slightly irritating. I'm writing a column in my newspaper on Friday about we've got the first ever all British women's world title fight on Friday night in boxing. Yeah, Terry Belter Harper, and Natasha Jonas. Natasha was in the Olympics in 2012. I covered both of their careers. Terry used to work in a chip shop, and now she stacks shelves in a supermarket as well as being a world champ. She's a beautiful person. There's been a few arguments back and forth in the last few days between Michaela Mayer, who you may know as well, the boxer, yeah, who was a USA 2016 Olympian, saying, if I want to put out, and I don't mean sexy, but if I want to put out pictures of myself in a bikini and market myself as hot, as beautiful, as well as being a fighter, you know, you do the same as well. Should we just be looking at that as legit? Because you're looking at the female form as well as looking at a fighter?
So I don't do anything for social media. I do things for myself. For example, I am an extremely girly girl outside of the cage. So the way I market myself is not for social media and it's not for men. It's for myself. You know, this is the way I look. I've worked my whole life to have this body, to have this figure. I was a ballerina. I was a martial artist. You know, I do both. And I think that's where people mistake. It's not for social media. I am the way I look like, and I also am a fighter. You know, what does one thing have to do with another? You know, just because I look different than other martial artists doesn't make me any different. It's my identity. This is why Valerie Loureda is different. You know, I'm a broadcaster and as a major. I have different passions outside of the cage, and that's okay. The way I am doesn't mean I market myself like that. It means I'm a normal girl who has an education outside of the cage, and that's what should be recognized.
So it's systemic, like you say. It's the whole issue of people having an issue with it. It's just systemic, and it's nothing to do with individuals. Because
it's just jealousy. It's just jealousy, and they're not educated in that aspect. They've never seen it before, and they can't handle it, but they will when they see me fight in the cage.
Many thanks. Sorry about the irritating question, but it's great.
No. Thank you.
Have a great fight tomorrow, Saturday, Friday night. Yeah.
Thank you.
Our next question goes to Mike Pendleton.
Hi, Valerie. So recently, I know you talked about your connection with George, and obviously down there in Florida, Miami, and wanting to be like an influence for the Cuban community. But my question is, aren't you already doing that, right? 2 pro fights, you've won both. You're knocking on the doorstep of a bigger point in your career. And I think in that Latin and Hispanic culture, that they already look at you, an actress, all that you do, everything that you do. Aren't you already there? I know you don't have a BMF title or anything like that, but you're already there. You're already making an impact in the community.
Yes, I am making an impact. You know, I'm the first Cuban female fighter to come out of Miami. You know, I hold a lot of responsibility on my heart to represent our community, you know, but George is who he is. You know, I follow a lot of his footsteps. I feel like I am getting there, but I'm very hard on myself, and I feel like I'm not there yet, and I'm not complacent, I'm not satisfied. I'm not going to stop until I'm 10-0, have that belt, and I'm the first Cuban American woman to have the belt for Bellator.
So my last follow-up here is, with that, don't you like to shine in multiple avenues in your life to not only show them you can be a world-class fighter, you're on your way to becoming a champion, but while, and almost similar to the last question you received, you can be a beautiful woman, you could thrive in other industries, but you can also be a world champion inside the cage.
Yes, that's my message. You know, I think a lot of people don't understand it because it's too much for them to handle, but this is who I am.